I have some new Halo Infinite flighting news to share with you guys, as well as going over the possible release date being leaked for Halo Infinite through, of course, another piece of merchandise for the game. Now make sure you guys stick around to the end of the video because I think there is some really cool things to discuss. Now that stuff will definitely be on the more speculatory side of things, but I think plenty of you will find it interesting nonetheless. Now hit that like button for me to support future Halo content, and hit the subscribe button if you're new here and you want to stay absolutely up to date on all the latest happenings in the world of Halo. We're trying to get to 5,000 subs or more before the launch of Halo Infinite. So for those of us who are on social media, more specifically Twitter, see the official Halo account tweet something, or even somebody like John Unishek, community manager at 343 Industries, say something, we are always holding our breath seeing if it's something related to the Halo Infinite flights. And I feel like they know exactly what we are waiting to hear, and they'll start the tweet off by mentioning the Halo Infinite flights, and we think it's going to be a surprise flight announcement, and everybody's going to have to rush to go on ahead and check their waypoint profiles to see if they've been invited. For those that don't know what I'm talking about, I did a detailed guide on the flights and how to sign up for them and what exactly a flight is. So if you want to play Halo Infinite early, stick around to the end of the video. I'll have a card in the top right corner linking you right to it, and you guys can go check that out. The good news though is that you don't have to worry anymore about the Infinite flight being surprise drop. In a Twitter post from John Unishek, the community manager at 343 Industries, somebody asked him, "Hey John, when are these Halo Infinite flights happening?" In which Unishek replied, "PSA, Halo Infinite multiplayer technical preview details will be made known ahead of time. It will not be a surprise, but you will need to be registered as a Halo Insider, just like I touched on earlier about going through the process of signing up to be a participant in the Halo Infinite flights." He also went on to say that they're constantly evaluating the flighting build, just like they do with MCC flights, and the exact timing is dictated by the development realities. That said, once they have a firm date locked in, they'll let us know. And honestly, this was to be expected. With MCC, they have done some surprise flight drops, but that is more of a celebration of the legacy of the Halo series, and those flights are going out to your hardcore Halo fans that are sticking through it until the next release. It's been 6 years since the release of a new Halo title. Infinite is going to be a totally different beast than MCC when it comes to the impact that the flighting process is going to have. So I did expect them to go in with a more organized effort and communicate with us in advance when these flights were planning to go live. So let's move on to the new Halo Infinite Master Chief statue by Dark Horse. They of course made this one that you guys see here that I did an unboxing of for you guys. Really like the quality of this statue. It was a PVC statue. This one is also going to be PVC and made by Dark Horse, of course. You guys will see that there is quite a difference in the color of Chief. He's much darker in this compared to this one. And you could actually see that in the new gameplay trailer when the campaign was shown at E3 of 2021. Now there are two variations of this statue that are going to be offered. And the one you see here, Chief is rocking the grapple shot and a blue energy sword, but there is one exclusive retailer that is offering something just a little bit different. Best Buy will be offering a variation of this statue with a orange energy sword. I did pre-order this version because it is obviously going to be more limited, so expect an unboxing video of it on the channel for you guys when it does release. I do have one minor problem with it, as you guys can tell from looking at the energy sword. When there is such a thin piece of material without much support, it can get pretty bent up. That is pretty common with statues and figures, and it looks to be the case with this one. My buddy says it looks like a carrot, and I can't get that out of my head because it really does now. Especially in this picture, you can tell once again how messed up that energy sword is. Now you guys can see too a lot more detail in this version versus the previous version of the statue, especially with the forerunner pillars here or the infrastructure of the ring. Now of course the really interesting thing is this release date of 11/28 of 21. Now that is on a Sunday. I don't see the game coming out on a Sunday, but that could give us maybe a little bit of insight as to when the game could release, maybe even earlier in that week. Most games release on Tuesdays or Fridays, and the 23rd would be the Tuesday and the 26th would be Friday. I could totally see Halo Infinite coming out on that date, and this would also line up with giving Microsoft's other first-party release of that month some breathing room. Forza Horizon 5 is set to release on November 9th of 2021, let Halo come out a couple weeks later, give it some breathing room so that all eyes are on Halo. But now I wanted to talk about the orange energy sword and what that could mean as far as implications as far as the game itself. Now we know that Halo MCC just released Season 7 Elite featuring energy sword Camos. Now that could be the case for Halo Infinite. Now of course Chief is a character in campaign, not multiplayer. And we've only seen Camos come into multiplayer in this series. So how cool would it be if we got to use the Camos we unlocked for multiplayer in the campaign as well? Now this was already talked about by 343 for implementation into MCC. They haven't got around to it yet. We don't know if they ever will. They definitely did acknowledge it, but no promises were made as far as putting it into the game. This could also be a different variant of the energy sword. We saw this with, of course, Halo 5, and 343 did say that they experimented with weapon variants in Halo Infinite, but kind of went back to the drawing board. Now that could mean that they completely scrapped all these variants, or they just toned it down a little bit. So this could also be a maybe banished variant of an energy sword or something else completely with different attributes. And I personally think this would lend itself well to the gameplay of the campaign. Every time that 343 speaks about the environment on Zeta Halo, they focus on one thing and one theme, and that is player choice. Being able to tackle missions and side quests and areas the way you want to is one of the key pillars of Halo Infinite's campaign. And I personally think that weapon variants would be a great catalyst in promoting player choice in Halo Infinite. There might be some sort of loadout system or some sort of reward system for defeating certain enemies and getting access to their weaponry. And being able to use their arsenal to plan out a future attack sounds like a lot of fun to me. Of course, Halo 5 already experimented with that in campaign as well, having hidden variant weapons, and I personally don't mind seeing this at all in a campaign setting. I was not a fan of the Warzone mode or having anything like that, especially in Arena. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about the possibility of having weapon variants in the campaign of Halo Infinite, or would you rather just have the ability to apply camos to your weapons, or do you want both? Also, let me know if you plan on snagging either one of those Master Chief statues. I have up on the screen right now the availability as far as retailers around the world for you guys, and I will leave a link to it down in a pinned comment and in the description down below. As promised, click the card on your screen in the top right corner. If you aren't familiar with the flighting process, we'll link you to my other video explaining it all to you so that you can become a Halo insider and play Halo Infinite before the general public. If you guys are wondering, I do stream a lot of Halo on my Twitch channel. You guys can give me a follow over there. It is a cool way to interact with me live and talk to me about Halo or really anything going on in life. Go to twitch.tv/thepatmangaming to give me a follow there. I hope to catch you guys on either a previous video of mine or a future video of mine. Until that time comes, I'm your boy Patman, and I'm out.